Here's the thing. You guys have said, I've been on Seattle all year, so I wanted to go back into the archives of Top 10 Tuesday. 15 weeks in the top 10 for Seattle, 13 in the top 5, 4 ranked first. Coming in at number 1, the Seattle Seahawks. Went back and forth. You could go either way. Obviously, they now have the cleaner path to the 1 seed. And at number 1, it remains the Seattle Seahawks. They don't only win, they bludgeon people. And then at number 1, they've been there for about 6 weeks on Top 10 Tuesday, the Seattle Seahawks.
Live from New York, it's First Things First Overtime with a guy who's been pretty accurate to the point I'm starting to think, I hate to say it, Justin Herbert, top 5. I mean, you got to.
You should.
You got it. I mean, the guy's called it all along. Maybe I've been wrong. I was wrong all this Sunday.
What I say, Wilds? See the NFL.
Very clearly. He's always seeing it very clearly.
Always seen it very clearly.
First things first, overtime. Parkins,
You all right, Brew?
you were on the Seahawks all year.
Bite my tongue.
Yeah. Called the NFC Championship game the, quote, real Super Bowl, which infuriated me. But I was infuriated by this Super Bowl even more. You like the Seahawks, the way the Seahawks played all year, and so did Sam Darnold. Danny, were you surprised that the Seahawks dominated the Super Bowl?
No, I wasn't surprised at all, and it was reflected in my wagers that Nick can validate.
Danny, to his credit, did put a sizable wager on Seattle minus 9.5.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Seattle to win by double digits. That I thought somehow might get screwed by a garbage time touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Yeah, people were like, that wasn't an exciting Super Bowl. I was like, it was pretty tense.
I was worried for him at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no, like, listen, I've liked this team all year. We went back to the archives, as you saw. They made it into my top 10 back in week 4. So I do think that this has been a very impressive team all season long. I don't think that they are like a historically great team when we start talking about the all-time. They're not the 2000 Ravens or the 02 Bucks, but they're like a notch below that. But to me, the story of this team was relative to the rest of the NFL this year. And when I started to like really think that they could do this was actually after their last loss in week 11. Because if you go back to that game, I remember coming on the next day with you guys and being like, I was impressed because they had a 60-yard field goal attempt when they threw 4 interceptions in that game against the Rams. And since then, they've been undefeated, and they have been absolutely bludgeoning people, holding teams to 14.5 points per game. And to the point about the NFC Championship game being the real Super Bowl, I know we don't do this, but if you just remove the Rams games from it, the Seahawks, in terms of point differential per game, it's the best since the 07 Patriots. They just destroyed everybody this year other than the Rams.
It feels like you're almost on the verge of calling them a historic team, but why don't they cross the bridge there?
Well, I mean, listen, the 2002 Bucks allowed 12 points per game. You know, the 2000 Ravens were
10, wasn't it? 10
yeah,
points
exactly. So like, I do think that
like
there's just a gap. I think there's a gap in terms of how good this defense was and how great it was.
I think go ahead.
No, the last point on this, that I had 2 more things real quick. What I am willing to say is that was an all-time Super Bowl performance. Like that was a dominant Super Bowl. Because if you just remove the garbage time from it, because I know you love the number of yards.
Guys are stirring Gatorade.
Stirring Gatorade. Through 3 quarters, this was how lopsided it was. And if you put it into context, which we can do since quarter-by-quarter tracking for Super Bowls goes back to 1991, this was the ranks for the Seahawks through 3 quarters of a game. It's just simply one of the most dominant performances in Super Bowl history. So I don't think they're an all-time upper echelon tier 1 team, but relative to the competition this year and then in the Super Bowl, it is an all-time dominant single season.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think they're an all-time great team. This was a great performance. But that team they faced in the Super Bowl was not great. And this season, we've all talked about it. Is there a great team? I mean, Seattle, the defense is great. It's not maybe tier 1 all time, but it's tier 2, I guess, all time.
I think it's as good as like the 2015 Broncos, the Von Miller Broncos.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's right in line with that team.
But overall, I mean, And we'll see what Sam Darnold becomes. And I don't want to shoot down Sam Darnold at all because it's a great accomplishment for him. But he's not an all-time great quarterback, so that differentiates some of the great teams. I just think this was a year where, for the most part, you didn't have any great teams. We'll give Seattle that. They just won a Super Bowl. But I think you have to look at those numbers. Like you said, held a team scoreless through 3 quarters. You have to look at that relative to who they were playing. And I thought the difference, Danny, was that the Patriots finally faced the team. They've been facing great defenses all postseason. This was the best. We can give them that. But this was the only team they faced that had a quarterback that could make them pay. Herbert has not played well in the playoffs ever. Stidham is a backup and couldn't make him pay. And C.J. Stroud just imploded. Like, Darnold wasn't great, but he played clean, and he made the 1 touchdown pass, and that was all they needed. If another team had done that, Houston, say, maybe they beat the Patriots. So I want to credit Seattle, but I just think that was the difference.
I think you're kind of dissing the Seahawks there.
How?
Because you're not giving the Pats enough credit.
Yeah, I think the Patriots' defense was really good.
I
think the Patriots, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the defense.
But I think Sam Darnold made a few plays that won't end up on any highlight reels of just like key first downs, moving the ball into field goal range, to the point where once it was 12-0, it was over. Like, I just don't like C.J. Stroud. He did all the things that happened to C.J. Stroud, I think, was more difficult for it not to happen to Sam Darnold. He was blitzed 70% of the time in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think Darnold's sack avoidance was excellent.
Like, there were
at least 3 plays that I thought he's dead to rights. And then not only did he not get sacked, he ended up on 2 of them creating very positive plays on it.
The one he ran.
Right, and the one that he didn't, it almost was a game-breaking touchdown. Like the play that he missed to JSN, it was amazing that he didn't get sacked on it. So as far as am I surprised? Listen, I thought they'd win 27-17. I said I thought they'd be up 7-10 at half and be up 7-10 going into the 4th. This felt more dominant than a 16-point win because it was more dominant than a 16-point win. They were in total control throughout the entire game. As far as all-time stuff, and I will compare this team to the last Seahawks team to win the Super Bowl. When that Seahawks team won the Super Bowl, they were getting the benefit that Brew's not giving this team. Nobody thought going into that Super Bowl that Seahawks team was an all-time great team. But because they annihilated the Broncos with Peyton coming off 55 touchdowns, people were like, holy smokes. Maybe it was, but this question still remained. But are you an all-time great team if Russell Wilson, who at the time was just second year and third-round pick, pardon me. But then because the next year they were awesome again and got back to it, I feel like had they then finished the job the next year, we would have absolutely said that's an all-time great team.
If Seattle was good next year, would you retroactively give
well, they're
this
gonna
year's
be
team?
good.
No,
I
but
mean, if they win the Super Bowl,
got to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl.
That all makes a difference. Like maybe some of these guys. I mean, we can look at Witherspoon, who's young, but some of these guys may emerge to be legendary players.
And that's the point I was going to make about it. This sounds ridiculous, but if in 5 years Sam Darnold wins a league MVP, the 2025 Seahawks will be thought of as a greater team than they currently are.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you know what I like?
Which is ridiculous.
But
that's how
here's
how
why I don't know that I don't know that it's ridiculous. Because right now, when we talk about the greatest teams of all time, it is either one of the 5 greatest defenses in NFL history, 85 Bears, 2000 Ravens, those things, or a frontline A-list quarterback. There's very few teams, if any, that don't have one or the other.
Right.
If it turns out, Sam Darnold actually, as a Seahawk, was a frontline A-list quarterback for years, that will make this team feel more overwhelming than it currently does.
And most of the greatest teams, most of them you talk about, were dynasties or mini dynasties.
Perennial contenders.
So this is a slightly separate point, and I know we want to do the Patriots side of it, but I'm going to do it here anyway. Like, what I liked so much about the Seahawks this year was that they really did not have any weaknesses. They are so complete, especially when Darnold is not turning the ball over, which he did in the playoffs. But what's the blueprint? How do you follow it? How do you build this team? It is still just at the essence of you have to draft well. If you just put up 2022 to now, players drafted by the Seahawks, and I know it gets a little small, but that's 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen in the Super Bowl. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, Offensive Player of the Year. It's Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP. A.J. Barner, a touchdown. Devin Witherspoon, All-Pro cornerback. Derek Hall could have been MVP, 2 sacks. Byron Murphy, 2 sacks. Emenwari, maybe their most versatile defensive player. All of those guys are drafted in the last 4 drafts.
Yeah.
They're all on. Darnold's got an amazing contract. Yeah. They sign Lawrence. They hit the home run at head coach. What's the weakness of the 2025 Seahawks?
No, it was that their quarterback turned the ball over and didn't play well in big spots. And then he's the final 4 weeks of the year didn't turn the ball over and played the best game of his life in the NFC Championship game.
Do you think, just quickly before we go on to roasting poor Drake Maye, remember we talked about this, it wasn't your theory, but we kicked it around about in the NBA, it's no longer the best player and the guys around
The weak link
It's
theory.
the weak, yes.
Yeah.
Do you view that echoing here?
No, I'm not trying to dismiss it. Because I think you can get away with weak links in the NFL. Just, I don't think you can get away with your 2 weak links being your left tackle and your left guard. I think having your weak links be rookie offensive linemen who play next to each other and you run into a Mike McDonald defense, that all of a sudden is enough to dead the whole thing.
Yeah, I just didn't know how, our path to victory, Patriots, was just Sam Darnold interceptions.
Yeah, no, they were
And
just much better.
if that didn't happen, we just can't win. Got a punter putting it on the 2-yard line every time. Drake looked nervous, pressed, overwhelmed, and underwhelming. Shoot. This game changed how you viewed Drake Maye.
I think that these guys have been kind of mean to you so far today. So I wanted to get you a present to commemorate this season before I answer that question, if you wouldn't mind opening that.
I would tread lightly.
No, nothing's going to explode or pop out of that. I would never do
God,
that
it would
to you.
be so great if it was
It's just, no.
just a pie to the face.
Your guy's been getting roasted. It's been a special season. I see a lot of similarities between my team and yours, so I just wanted to get you a little gift.
I think this is really nice.
And is this also to make up for the fact that you shared a private text from Wilds in our walk-in video?
Oh, was that not allowed? Did he get upset about that? I'm sorry.
That was okay.
Yeah, okay. It's all content, right? I wanted you to remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just show people what it is.
No, it's like a 7 thing. I don't like it at all.
No, it's not a 7.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You don't even know what it is.
It's not someone's head.
Yeah, well, it might as well be.
Oh, show America.
It's the doorknobs from the doorknob of destiny.
That's
They were putting They were putting it in the dumpster.
Horrible.
I wanted you to have a memento.
keepsake.
Yeah, it's like when Mike
This
was
is disgusting.
It's like when Mike Wazowski gave Sully a piece of booze door in Monsters, Inc. Just something to
I actually
remember.
kind of like it. I'm going to treasure it.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
You should remember that.
Wait, thank you.
So yeah, that's for
What
you.
does this have to do with our teams? Why are you making this?
No,
a
it's just I was just trying to little brew misdirection, so you didn't know what was coming.
I thought it was going to be like a
filibustering.
Caleb Williams shirt.
No, it had nothing to do with that. That was just
That's
filibustering.
nice, Dan.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, keep it. Honestly, and this will bother Nick because it's about how much do the games matter.
Now, this works in my advantage.
Right, Drake Maye, I said it before the Super Bowl that I thought that the best Drake Maye team was still to come in the future.
Yeah.
That they were a year or 2 or 3 ahead of schedule. Drake Maye is a young, budding superstar who you feel really good and you'd want to build a team around, who had an awful Super Bowl. And so, does that downgrade?
Is it just an awful Super Bowl?
Oh, listen, it was not a good playoff run. He set the playoff record for sacks and fumbles. Obviously, that's not good. So I'm not saying he got upgraded from it. But all this means is we can't yet put a 23-year-old quarterback as a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
That's all it really, but it doesn't mean that he can't get there eventually or that he won't do it eventually. It just means that we can't get too far ahead of ourselves right now.
So, sure. But I think it means a little more than that. It also means he now is going to be trying to massively buck history to ever win a Super Bowl. Last 50 years, there are 2 guys who lost their first Super Bowl and then won one. It's Jalen Hurts and John Elway. That's your list.
Oh.
Right. So before Jalen did it last year, it was incredibly rare that the guys, and so there's that piece of it. There is also the fact that he had 4 separate bites at the apple of good playoff game and went 0 for 4. And he was dreadful in the first half of all 4. In the second half of the Texans game, in the second half of the Chargers game, played really well.
Played great.
And the second half of the Texans game was fumbling but making some big plays. This game, I don't care that much about the 230 yards in the fourth quarter. And here is what did change for me, Brew, over the course of this postseason. Because we saw over the course of the last few months the deep pass numbers plummeting. And I think you saw it in the Super Bowl, where as unproductive as they were early, he was clean. And then once they started moving the ball, it was 5 possessions, 3 turnovers, 2 touchdowns. I do worry that part of Drake Maye's ability to hit big plays against good defenses comes with a massive cost.
Yes.
Which is
What, getting hit?
and fumbling and turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And some of what looked like shocking pocket presence and deep ball ability early was more a product of weak defenses. And then once and he has not yet learned how to be able to hit big plays while not creating big plays for the other team, which is what he struggled with mightily this entire postseason run.
And I think New England's coaching staff showed you they agree with you. They know that. Because, Danny, I thought their offensive game plan was very conservative. I thought it was, let's not let Drake make some mistakes or turnovers because we believe Darnold will make one, right? And they were going for that. And then to your point, Nick, they get down so much, you got to let it get loose a little more, and he makes some turnovers. So, yeah, I think that's huge. Even we talked about it all year. He had 1 300-yard passing game. He had, I think, 2 games. That's in his career. He had 2 games this season with 3 or more touchdowns or more than 3 touchdowns. That's not typically and I'm not saying he wasn't an MVP candidate. Yeah. He was legit. But that's not like this huge season statistically that normal MVPs
He was just
have.
Crazy, consistent, and efficient.
And accurate and all that, efficient.
It's a little, I don't want to be it's hard to be the Drake Maye defender. I think the 300-yard game thing, which I hammered Aaron Rodgers for because I thought his arm strength had deteriorated, because of the easy schedule and because we were only down at halftime once, I thought there was, outside of let's punish the Jets and try to make an MVP case, a little bit of it's ball control time. We don't really need to crush a team if we're up. In the Panthers game, we won 42-0, and he didn't throw for 300 yards. Josh Allen has those games every once in a while. I don't know. The 300-yard thing doesn't ring with me.
But a lot of times you can throw for 300 in just you pound the team through the air early, and you end up having 300 yards.
Real quick before we go. What's your answer to this? And I'm being a jerk.
Yeah,
I'm
legitimately
curious.
Look, I think it has to change. If I have to be consistent. If he played amazing in all 4 games, I think I would have the right to stand on the table and say he's the best quarterback in the league. Since he did what it takes, which I think that I don't have a lot of, to stand on, we might disagree with how well he played, but I think he has to. It's a nice. I'm glass half full. It's a nice growing experience for him, but yes, I think it is now possible he can have a bad playoff game.
That's a big admission. Yeah, you got there. You got there.
Sorry, I was looking around, but
yeah, good for you.
I've seen it now.
Good for you. All right, you've seen it.
Remember, I was like, I've never seen my son dunk.
Yeah.
My son won a dunk contest. I came home. I'd be like, wow, he's dunking in the driveway.
It's possible.
Gosh darn it. Mike Vrabel was at his 5th Super Bowl, 4 as a player. Josh McDaniel was at his 10th. They had 0 answers, Parkins.
Yeah.
Zippo. Did the Patriots coaching staff get exposed?
Exposed suggests that they're not good or even a great coaching staff. And I don't believe that, but I thought they had a horrible day. And I thought it was almost as if they disrespected the Seahawks. Like, it was very weird. But I want to make it clear here. Like, I think they could have had all the Bills, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, and Bill Walsh on one staff, and I don't think they were winning that game. Like, I think Seattle was just much better than New England. So I do not think the result of the game came down to coaching. And the 2-point conversion decision is indefensible. It's like he forgot math, but it ended up being irrelevant. It's like they were playing Jarrett Stidham, but they were playing Sam Darnold. And the conservatism, and I pulled 3 in a row in the third quarter, if we could show you the circumstance. 14 minutes left, 7 minutes left, 3 minutes left. 4th and 3, 4th and 1, 4th and 4. You see where they were on the field. You see the score of the game in the right-hand column. And then this is what I thought was most interesting. So they were a league average team over the course of the season in terms of quantity of 4th down attempts. I think they were 15th. But on 4th or 4 or less, in terms of how good they were at it, they were the best team in the NFL. The best in the NFL. And they had 3 chances in their wheelhouse of down and distance, down 2 scores in the third quarter, and they punted on all 3 of them.
The 4th and 1 was crazy.
And I texted you, I couldn't believe, but and listen, I am open to, like, I am on the very aggressive end of that
Danny
spectrum.
also, I'm sure, hated all the Seahawks field goals. That
but like, I honestly don't, I don't get it. It's like they thought they were playing a bad offense and they weren't.
Yep.
I get it. I mean, put that graphic back up if you can. Look at where their field position is. They are thinking at 9-0. You're thinking we're still in this.
9-0, I get
right. And if we fail here, it's 3 yards. We're not moving the football at all, and we're not likely to get this 3 yards. If we don't get it, if they score a touchdown, it might be over. And I think they're thinking the same thing at 12-0. So it was more like live to see another day. If we can get a big play or two, which they ended up getting a big play down 19-0, then you're.
I thought that was the Seahawks. Do you give Drake? I'm not even giving Drake credit for that.
That pass to Mac Hollins?
It's a nice pass, but
the defense was great. I get it.
Seahawks
They got softer on the defense.
Yeah.
I get it. But on that particular play, it was just a great throw, great catch. I'm just saying, like, I was sitting here thinking, again, as a guy that picked the Patriots, like, okay, it doesn't look good down 9-0, but it's just 9-0. Like, if Drake can make one play, now it's 9-7. Versus if they go for it, miss, and then they score, now it's 16-0 in a game we're having trouble scoring. So I totally get that. Look, I think they were outcoached dramatically, but overall I agree. I think it's a great coaching staff. They had a bad day and they exposed us way too far because they're a great staff, but they didn't give Drake Maye any answers offensively, so they definitely got outcoached.
I just don't need another 2,000 words on Mike Vrabel reinventing the wheel because he had him practice a long halftime on Friday of the Super Bowl week.
It's been done before.
I mean, I love Vrabel, but maybe a little bit of that PR go to Mike McDonald and his staff because they seem to know what they're doing too. That's all.
Sack Drake Maye.
They also practiced a long halftime in
McDonald
Seattle.
is special.
Yeah.
And I think let's see going forward.
You know what? This team might be all-time great. Maybe that's my angle.
It lost to an all-time
I lost to an all-time great
Done
team.
that 2.5 hours.
Listen
Right,
to
a
me.
little late for
What are we
that.
supposed to do? 85 Bears. We lost.
Time now for a little edition of He Said, We Said, Super Bowl edition. We listen to the best sound from Santa Clara, then give you the best analysis off of it. First up, Kenneth Walker on the run game and being named Super Bowl MVP. So I'm happy for Kenneth Walker. I thought it was a really cool story and great timing ahead of free agency. Probably made himself a few $1 million last night. And as someone who has gambled on this and watches this and knows how this works, I knew Kenneth Walker III was going to be Super Bowl MVP, but I didn't think he should have been. And he was spectacular. but they won that game because of their defense. If I show you guys what they did in the first 3 quarters before garbage time,
Shoot, we saw it.
It was, well, I'm just saying, like, it's literally one of the best defensive performances in the last 30 years in a Super Bowl, 35 years in the NFL. But I think the problem with giving it to a defensive player is, like, unless it's like, oh, well, Derek Jackson had 2 interceptions or Von Miller has all the sacks, it's very hard, like, well, Murphy had 2 sacks, and Derek Hall had 2 sacks and a forced fumble, and Witherspoon with the blitz. It's like, I would have given it to Derek Hall. But I think you could have made the argument for Witherspoon. Like, how do you choose one defensive player in a game like that so they end up giving it to Kenneth Walker?
The same way you choose an offensive player.
Right.
You got to pick one.
Yeah.
Like,
but
and it just worked out because offensively, he was the one bright spot that kind of stood out. But when to your point, when you watch that game, you can watch that game 100 times. What's going to stand out is defense.
The defense.
And so you have to pick somebody on the defense. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He's not deserving of it because he definitely impacted that game. But when I look at Witherspoon and what he was able to do, he pressure-wise, he got him a sack. He forced a fumble. They picked up, scooped and scored on the one he's forced. Like, defensively is what my eyes saw most.
Yeah, listen, I was happy with Kenneth Walker. I get your point with the defense, but I thought he set the tone. I think they owned the line of scrimmage, and I thought they forced the Patriots to play the Super Bowl on their terms. And Mike Vrabel pretty much said it all week. If we don't stop the run, we cook. Like, he told his defensive front, if we don't stop the run, this is a team that leads the league in rush attempts, and they're relentless at it. And that's exactly how they showed up and played the game. So for me, Kenneth Walker deserved it. Defensively, I'm with you. However you see it is, listen, whoever had the biggest impact, that's the guy. But I thought Kenneth Walker earned it. So
his rushing yards prop all week went down, down, down. People just kept betting under, and then he was over in the first half. Like, he was dominant.
He was great.
He was dominant in that game. Let's hear from Drake Maye after a tough loss and tough performance. He was awful. he was. I mean, listen, and
but DP, there was a reason for that. It was like he just showed up and was god awful. Like, the offensive line,
he was
he was
awful.
bad. The O-line played a big part in why he was
did
bad.
too.
Yeah, listen, chicken or the egg, right? Like,
But no, as an offensive line, we're always taught, especially when dealing with a young quarterback, get him as comfortable as possible because that penetrates the rest of the offense. They never allowed him to get comfortable. So credit to the Seahawks defense, I get that. But that O-line was bad.
Yes, the left side of their offense, Campbell and Wilson gave up 21 pressures. That's a bit above average, right?
Yeah, but Will Campbell gave up 14 pressures by himself.
And then Wilson gave up 7. So 14 plus 7 is 21 on the left side. But all year, I mean, the guy finished 1 vote away from being MVP because he was the thing that elevated everybody, and he didn't elevate everybody. Yes, I'm not saying it can't ever happen again in the future, but he was real bad.
Yeah, the understanding that we all had was quarterbacks are what cover and masks what the deficiencies are. So if we knew going into this game they had issues on the left side of the ball, we talk about him being young, well, they're even younger. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why you have to have a running game. We knew they were going to try to shut that down. You supplement the running game by a quick passing game. That didn't happen. Drake was off. He had his worst performance. And he owns that. He knows it. He talks about being fueled by it. We'll see.
But I'm also pounding on the table, you got to give me a receiver 1. Like, A.J. Brown, please. If I got to go pick you up from the airport, take you out to a steak dinner. Am I wrong, Greg? You played receiver. Like, I didn't see one receiver for the Patriots show up in any way, in any facet.
Yeah, what I would say is we got to see how they progress offensive line-wise. Because you can get 4 good receivers, but if you can't protect, we can't run any other plays to these guys.
And all playoffs, right? I mean,
yeah.
Houston had their way with it.
I mean, he had 15 sacks coming into this in the playoffs prior to the Super Bowl. 5 in each game.
Well, listen, setting the record for most sacks and most fumbles in a single postseason. It's not great. But the kid's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Although Joe Burrow thought he'd be back, Marino thought he'd be back. It's you know what I mean? It's hard to get there.
And Marino never saw it again.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So tough performance, but still a lot of optimism for the Patriots.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.